Okay, meeting called to order, please. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Have a seat. We have salary board first to.
Assessments first.
Oh, the assessment. I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
Assessment.
Yep.
Okay. Chairman Clausy announced that today's Board of Assessment Appeals Board meeting was duly advertised. A motion is needed to accept the settlement of the assessment appeal filed by Resolite Sports Products Incorporated, which calls for a new assessed value of $236,340 divided by the common level ratio of 30.3, resulting in a market value of $780,000.
Any question? Those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carried.
Recess to the call of the chair.
Okay, we have a salary board. I'd like to make a motion to table the salary board to the next. I make a motion.
Second.
So salary boards have been tabled.
You have to vote. Vote on the
Oh,
motion.
I'm sorry. Everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Citizen input and the agenda item only. Hear none.
A motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Commissioners' public meeting held on January 6, 2015, and the emergency public meeting held on January 15, 2015.
So moved. Second.
Any question? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels payrolls as submitted by the Finance Office for payroll number 2 in the amount of $674,419.74 and payroll number 3 in the amount of $679,365.60.
So moved. Second.
Question? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuels bills as submitted by the county controller in the amount of $3,765,312.55 from January 3rd to January 30th, 2015.
So moved. Second.
Any question? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Following announcements. A meeting of the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners was held on January 15, 2015, from 10:28 a.m. to 11:10 a.m. for the purposes of dealing with real and potential emergencies related to life and property associated with the fire at the Northumberland County Prison. B, the Courthouse Administration Center Human Service Complex and related county facilities will be closed on Monday, February 16, 2015, in observance of President's Day. And C, the next scheduled meeting of the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners is March 3rd, 2015. Number 7, a motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the State Tax Equalization Board voucher form for transfers of real estate for the month of December 2014 as submitted by the Assessment Office.
So moved. Second.
Any question? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
A motion is needed authorizing the chairman to sign the certification for authorized use of 911 funds under Chapter 53 Emergency Telephone Service of Title 35 of the Pennsylvania Consolidated Statutes for state fiscal year 2015-2016, and this is a ratification.
So moved. Second.
Any question? Those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
A motion is needed authorizing the chairman to sign the certification of county funds form for the 2015 program year designating $10,000 to the Agricultural Land Preservation Program. This also is a ratification.
Second.
He moved. Okay. Second.
Yeah, second. Any question? So all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Number 10, a motion is needed authorizing the chairman to sign the software maintenance renewal with Environmental Systems Research Institute, Inc. for the Department of Public Safety for the period of April 7, 2015 to April 6, 2016, at a one-time cost of $1,500 as submitted by the Department of Information Services. This is also ratification.
So moved. Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
A motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to approve and sign the collective bargaining agreement between Northumberland County and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, Local 216, Council 86, for the period of January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2017, for Northumberland County's Correctional Unit, as submitted by Human Resources.
So moved. Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
A motion is needed authorizing the Commissioners to sign the monthly fiscal status reports for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Crisis Program, LIHEAP, and the Department of Energy Program, DOE, for the month of December 2014, as submitted by the Weatherization Department.
So moved. Second.
And a question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
A motion is needed to accept an expected resolution from Marion Heights Borough appointing the Northumberland County Treasurer to serve as the acting tax collector for Marion Heights Borough. Said acceptance is contingent upon receipt of an executed resolution from Marion Heights Borough.
So moved. Second.
And a question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried. I have a comment to make on this motion. We have the Treasury Department is going to start to collect tax for other municipality, so we must do what's right to make sure he has enough employee to work with. You're welcome. Right, go ahead.
Okay. A motion is needed to authorize the Northumberland County Authority to proceed with the October 27th decision to approve a one-time grant to Cole Township to assist the township with its Arch Street Recreation Project, and to authorize the authority to proceed with the authority's October 27th decision to provide a one-time grant to the city of Shamokin to assist with repairs to the roof of the American Legion building in Shamokin, which houses the public library, museum, and other community-centered activities.
So moved. Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
A motion is needed to appoint and reappoint the following individuals to the Local Emergency Planning Commission, LEPC, for a one-year term beginning January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015, and they're listed as items A and B on your public meeting agenda.
So moved. Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
A motion is needed acknowledging receipt of the following reports listed as items A through C on your public meeting agenda.
So moved. Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
A motion is needed to reappoint Mr. Craig Fetterman to the Northumberland County Authority for a 5-year term beginning January 1st, 2015 and ending on December 31st, 2019.
So move. Here none, motion, I don't have a second, the motion failed.
Number 18, a motion is needed to reappoint Mr. Barry Yarworth to the Northumberland County Anthracite Outdoor Adventure Area Authority for a 5-year term beginning January 1st, 2015 and ending December 31st, 2019.
So move.
Second.
On the question, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
19, a motion is needed to approve the proposal with Lightspeed Technologies to provide to Northumberland County's employees an extra layer of security for their mobile devices as submitted by the IT department.
So moved. Second.
On the question, those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
Number 20, a motion is needed to approve the list of individuals no longer employed and new hires for Northumberland County as submitted by the Human Resources Department.
So moved. Second.
On the question, those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carried.
Number 21, a motion is needed authorizing the chairman to ratify the signing of the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development Fair Housing Annual Report for reporting year 2014.
So moved. Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry.
22, a motion is needed to pay the part-time Northumberland County prison employees who are not eligible to collect unemployment compensation an additional 2 weeks of pay, subject to the individual working in other county departments as needed, and contingent upon the receipt of a letter or written statement from AFSCME confirming that the union will not file a grievance on behalf of any employees as a result of these actions.
So moved. Second.
And a question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry. And that's what you were saying, Rick, right?
Yeah, I just figured we'd like to extend, some additional time where these folks who aren't eligible for unemployment comp can get a paycheck. However, we are dealing with public funds here, and my thought was we have departments that could use people to get back filing done and inventorying, things like that, and if we're going to be paying them anyhow, we might as well have those folks coming in and doing that. And I had a conversation with our pathonetary. You had indicated between you and Mary, you could use probably at least 4 during that time, and certainly any of the other departments that are here, get your requests in, because we'd like to be able to send these folks out to the different departments and help you out, for things like that. So it'd be just for that 2-week period.
And it contingent about all the union
Yeah.
agreed. Okay, so we all in favor for that. Okay,
23, motion is needed authorizing travel requests and attendance at the following workshop seminars as in accordance with the county's personal manual travel reimbursement policies listed as 23A through D on your public meeting agenda.
So moved. Second.
second on the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye,
Aye.
motion carry.
A motion is needed to adopt the following honorary letter. Miss Rolls Schultz from Locust Gap, 80th birthday.
So moved. Second.
And the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry. Solicitor report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to adopt Resolution R0615 as presented by the Solicitor, subrecipient agreement between the County Commissioners and the Mount Carmel Township for the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development 2012 Community Development Block Grant Program for the removal of blighted structures as submitted by the Planning Department. This is a ratification.
So moved. Second.
The question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry.
Motion to adopt Resolution R07-15 as presented by the Solicitor, snow removal agreements between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Northumberland County Engineer and the boroughs of Milton and Mount Carmel and the Independence Fire Company for removal of snow from county bridges located in the borough of Milton, borough of Mount Carmel, and city of Shamokin. This is a ratification.
So moved. Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry.
Motion to adopt Resolution R08-15 as presented by the Solicitor, a resolution of the Northumberland County Commissioners authorizing Kevin Gilroy, County Treasurer, to establish a new Northumberland County bank account with M&T Bank for a tax collector account. Two new Northumberland County bank accounts with M&T Bank, one for a tax collector account and the other for a prison fire proceeds account. This is ratification.
So moved. Second.
And the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry.
Motion to adopt Resolution R09-15 as presented by the Solicitor. Agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Planning Department and the North Central Highway Safety Network Incorporated for execution and distribution of 2 PennDOT grants, CTSP District 3-0 and North Central Regional Sobriety Checkpoint projects.
So moved. Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry.
Motion to adopt Resolution R10-15 as presented by the Solicitor. Maintenance and service agreements between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Northumberland County District Attorney's Office and the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency, the Pennsylvania District Attorney's Institute for Statewide Automated Victim Information Notification, SAVIN systems, which will enhance existing victims' service efforts by creating and implementing an automated system of notification that will be available to victims 24/7.
So moved. Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry.
Motion to adopt Resolution R11-15 as presented by the Solicitor. Agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the prison and CGL companies for assisting said county in developing appropriate options and solutions to the current prison crisis.
So moved. Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye, motion carry.
Motion to adopt Resolution R12-15 as presented by the Solicitor. Professional services agreement between the Northumberland County and Port Elevator Incorporated for maintenance of the elevators at the Northumberland County Career Center.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Motion to adopt Resolution R13-15 as presented by the solicitor. Grant agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Northumberland County Emergency Management Agency and the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for the 2014-2015 Emergency Management Performance Grant, EMPG, in the amount of $54,891 to support and the approved personnel costs within the department. This is a ratification.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Motion to adopt Resolution R14-15 as presented by the solicitor. Lease agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners and iHeartMedia and Entertainment Incorporated, formerly known as Clear Channel Broadcasting Incorporated, regarding transaction and transfers through an estoppel certificate.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Motion to adopt Resolution R15-15 as presented by the solicitor. Coal land lease between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the county engineer and PAC 23 Mining.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Motion to adopt Resolution R16-15 as presented by the solicitor. Lease agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners and Brush Valley Regional Chamber of Commerce for office space, room 203 at the Northumberland County Career and Arts Center, located at 2 East Arch Street, Shamokin.
Second.
Question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Motion to adopt Resolution R17-15 as presented by the solicitor. Settlement and release agreement between the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners and David Kaleta for an agreement mediated between the parties.
Second. Any question? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion
One
carried.
abstention.
Motion to adopt,
And I have a press release about this after the meeting.
Two and one
Settlement.
abstention.
motion to adopt Resolution 18-15 as presented by the solicitor. Commissioners' budget amendments as listed.
Second.
On the question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Motion to adopt Resolution R19-15 as presented by the solicitor. Agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the following service providers as listed, numbers 1 through 9. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does their organizational contract list county employees as the principals in their corporation or on their board of directors.
Second.
Any question, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried. Anything under old business? Under new business?
Mr.
Did we-
Chairman, Mr. Chairman, we have one thing to bring up under new business from the retirement board meeting.
Okay, go ahead.
Resolution R20-15, whereas Act 96 of 1971, otherwise known as the County Pension Law, enables county governments to provide an early retirement incentive to their employees, and whereas the provision of the early retirement incentive will reduce personnel costs, and whereas the Commissioners of Northumberland County are desirous of providing such an early retirement incentive, now therefore be it resolved that the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners hereby enact an early retirement incentive with the terms and conditions attached and made part of this resolution by reference. So this would be a motion to approve that resolution.
I make the motion.
Second.
Any question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, anything else under new business? You do want to? How about under new business, the commission's gonna update the prison a little bit, what's going on?
Just to make everyone aware, we met with Secretary Wetzel this morning, as well as Senator Gordner and representatives from Linda Slinkle-Tolber's office, as well as
Card
Kurt Moss's office. And they are bending over backwards to accommodate us. They're in the process of taking a correctional industry warehouse and converting it for us, allowing us even access to pick up and drop off inmates, male inmates, in the rear of the SCI Cole Township office. They've also extended to us a $60 per day visit, which is just the cost extra overruns as to what they would have otherwise have had to pay.
They charge everybody else $100, we're gonna pay $60. So
And we are going to provide some of our own
Yeah.
COs and employ them out there.
That'll be a few months down the line yet until the facility is constructed. They're going to bring maintenance crews from surrounding facilities and retrofit that warehouse to meet our needs with bathrooms, showers, laundry, so on and so forth. Also, I want to commend the state for really just bending over backwards. He was actually leaving to go speak with the superintendent directly from our meeting. He's going to keep the same amount, even though the cost typically per day for female inmates is roughly $134. He's going to keep it at 60 for them up there as well, which is ironically lower than what we're paying to house inmates in surrounding counties. Some are 70, some are $72. I think one is $65 a night. So all in all, it will be a nice savings with what we've saved the past 17 days. We have 11 more days for free at the state penitentiary. And just doing some quick math is the budget as to what it'll save us on the old institution as opposed to paying the $60 a day. I foresee that budget being worst case a wash and best case even some savings. But that's taken into consideration also. We went from 220 inmates currently to roughly 125 males, of which almost 17 are remanded to state custody already. I believe we have about 30 female inmates. So the numbers are really coming down. I want to commend the courts. They're utilizing house arrest virtually like never before. They're just working with us
Everybody
at every
working
turn.
together.
It's been a real blessing.
Okay, also, I want to make an update. I spoke to the governor's office the other day with the chief of staff, and I told the chief of staff I want to meet with the governor because we need help for the prison, so they can prevail us some grants. And I think that the meeting is going to be after March 3rd because they're very, very busy right now for the budget. They're doing a budget. So I believe sometime in March I will meet with the governor to discuss the issue so we could get some grants to build a Northumberland County prison, because I think that that's the direction the county's going to go. And that's it. Mr. Shuck, you have anything?
No, just, as we approach this process, as you know, I had attended a meeting the other week with some of our surrounding counties and also Senator Gordner's office and Senator Gene Yall's office to talk about a regionalized approach to corrections. And that doesn't necessarily mean a regionalized prison, but a regionalized approach and possibly shared services and cooperating with each other so that none of us has to reinvent the wheel each time and incur expenses of our own in providing things such as, whether it be a prison or a work release center, a day reporting center, some of the things that can help us keep our number of people that we have to put into traditional and more expensive incarceration at a minimum. Certainly as we go through this, and I'd like us to keep an open mind to those types of things, whether it be on a regionalized basis or alone as a county. We did receive a letter from the President Judge this morning, indicating that he would like to see us through this process take a look at a work release center, which my understanding of talking to the folks in probation, they could reduce our numbers in our traditional prison down to around 75. Work release center, you don't incur all the same costs that you do for a prison. It's much more to maintain and to run, and it's something where you're actually helping some of these inmates gain some skills and things like that that help them transition when they go back into the community. So I think we need to look at options like that. He also had indicated from the court standpoint they would like to see both that and the prison remain within the vicinity of the Sunbury area from a logistical standpoint, in terms of avoiding excessive transportation costs. And certainly I hope that that is the options we're looking at. I think that should certainly be a factor in what we're looking at. So.
Okay. And anything else under new business? Public input. Go ahead, sir. Hi, Jerry.
Hello there.
Are you back?
Yes, back again.
God bless you.
Why, Jerry Snyder, Shamokin Township, speaking for Brush Valley Preservation Association. Commissioners, officers. We've heard some rumor, well, lots of rumors for the possible location of a prison. Many options are under consideration. And speaking to item number 25F, we would certainly like to discourage any consideration of Brush Valley as an option for a prison site. There are so many other options that are available that should not even be a consideration. All right. I'd like to bring to notice here Northumberland County Greenways and Open Space Plan. Northumberland County Commissioners Frank Sawicki, Vinnie Clausy, and Merle Phillips. One item in there, to work with the Brush Valley Preservation Association and other interested groups to encourage land preservation in the Brush Valley area. So that is a point which I would like to make for the association.
Gerald, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You know, we've been going on to this for 8 years. You remember when you used to come here every meeting? And I have a question for you, and that's not the site. I'm going to tell you what object you guys will have. So we put the new prison in the next to the state prison, where it's going to be 3-4 acre ground we're going to utilize. Right next to the road there, we have infrastructure, we have the water, we have the sewer, we have everything there, we have the highway. I mean, what object you will have just to use a 5 or 6 acre next to the prison?
Okay.
In the top, in that area, in the road.
Okay, this was something that was extensively explored for the federal prison.
That was a big issue. This is a little thing.
For the same reasons which you had brought up. And due to the objections and the aspect of the valley and the natural resource that it represents, the federal government or the Justice Department decided to eliminate that site. And at that point, they decided to go to the far end of the Trout Run portion up near Route 54.
We're not going to go, I mean, it's not that way. So we would go in, it will be right in the entranceway where the hospital is, maybe 500 feet to the left. The worst scenario, we have one side that we're looking at it. We're not saying it's going to happen there. It's going to be like 5 or 6 acre ground right next to the road. I don't think we damage the site the way you discuss. I mean, we have to do what's best for the taxpayer too. Okay.
Yes. So,
We don't want to go someplace to build the prison where the infrastructure is going to cost $10 million. That's not going to happen, Jim.
yes, understand. So, yes, I understand your position, your viewpoint.
And I'm saying, consider it, you guys could consider this location.
Yes. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Anybody else under public input? Gentlemen?
Good afternoon.
Yes?
Joe Rebar from Shamokin.
Yes.
I'm with the Brush Valley Preservation Association too. And I don't agree on using that area at all. Now, I understand the cost concerns, but I think the prison should be closer to Sunbury. Now, that's a long drive. You're gonna have to hire extra people to drive back and
And
forth.
I said to you guys, that's one location, we're gonna look at it. And it'd be several other locations we're gonna look at it. We're gonna look in Sunbury, we're gonna look at the location. Wherever we can save money, we will go.
Okay.
If
But I
we're
would
gonna
like-
pick a fight, then we pick a fight. I'm telling you, whatever we gotta save money for the taxpayer, we will go.
Well, when I hear the word Brush Valley, I think of Brush Valley Road between 890 and 147. That's my idea of Brush Valley. That's the only one I want to hear.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, any public input?
I understand that due to the events that have occurred
Say
recently.
your name, please, sir.
My name is Gregory Stuck. I'm an attorney. I practice in Northumberland. I've been practicing here in Northumberland County for the last 26 years. Just to cover the base on the subject of what you may or may not be considering for a prison, I realized, and I've read some articles that suggested that quote-unquote zoning has been done in the city of Sunbury that would preclude the provision of a prison here. I don't think that's the end to the answer. And respectfully, if I might, Commissioner, kindly let me speak, and I'll give you what my thought is on the subject. There's a piece of property that it may be occupied industrially right now that is just off of Reagan Street on the opposite side of the street from where Brewer's Outlet is, very close to the other county offices, where the door manufacturer used to be located, that has a substantial size, large parking area. would probably have most of the amenities that you would want for such a facility, and realistically isn't in a line of sight for much of anyone, as far as that's concerned. You're gonna have to build a jail, you're gonna have to build it somewhere. The sheriff's office is cut to the point that they can't produce somebody to transport. If you wanna put things out in Shamokin, Shamokin's not the county seat unless something changes about that sometime soon. I just don't see that being a realistic place for you to try and stash a prison at this point in time, nor do I really think that this board should be the one making that decision, since they're probably not gonna be actively participating in whatever happens from this point forward. You really need to look at some kind of a temporary facility. I know that it was suggested several times to the commissioners that there be a barracks type of facility set up for those who are on work release, so they wouldn't have to be incarcerated in a jail. I don't know if there are any buildings that are nearby that could be utilized for such purposes, but you might want to think about that. The other thing that hopefully the courts are considering at this point in time, as is probation, is that if somebody is what we would call intermediate punishment eligible, they should be probably sentenced to house arrest. It would probably behoove the commissioners to set aside some monies to buy those anklets that the folks and people wear, because it would substantially cut down on your need to throw people in a jail, and they would be housed at home. Save everybody a lot of money in the interim until we can get things back in order. And respectfully, I think we all know that's gonna be at least 2 years down the road? Not gonna happen tomorrow.
I know you came in late, but we did actually commend the courts for utilizing house arrest.
Okay, all right. Well, in any event, those are my thoughts, and just thought I would share them with you. That's a prime location, I think, for what you need, and it would be a good spot for you to go.
Well, thank you, we'll take it under
Sure.
advisement.
Okay, anybody else? And here's another thing I wanted the press to report it to the public. Got the $60 day paid to the state, and I believe between women and men, we're gonna have about an average 200 prisoners per day. It's gonna be $12,000 a day times 360 days, $4.3 million. We cannot sit and wait to please everybody to build the prison. We got to move forward, and we're going to do what's best. We're going to look at some better location. We're going to look in the Cole Township area, whatever we can find, a cheaper location we're going to build, we will build. We're not going to play no politics and no games. Also today, I contact John Moran Industry for the site in Sunbury. We want to look at that too. And we're going to look everything before we make a decision. So that's my opinion, and then we're going to move forward.
Yeah, and I know we have some folks here who actually live down near that site who've expressed,
Go ahead.
their interest in, their willingness to have it in that neighborhood. Also, one thing to point out, it is costing us $60 a day, or it will be costing us that to house these folks out of, outside of our other prison. However, we had done an analysis, it was $55 a day cost to us to have them in the facility that we had. So it's not that all that money is going out there, that it's the difference that we're paying. And,
Well-
I think that we do need to make sure that we think this through, and certainly we were advised by Secretary Wetzel when he first came here the other week to, make sure that this is thought through, that to avoid the temptation to have, feel that we have to make some immediate decision here. You want to do this right. That's one of the reasons why, frankly, I was pleased you mentioned item number 25. That's to have a feasibility study done, which is going to include, I don't even know if the first phase of that is going to include particular sites. It's going to talk about options that are available and combinations of options such as day reporting, work release centers, in combination with the prison. One option that shouldn't be off the table is that if you can get your numbers down, and I don't know if that's doable or not, but if you can get the numbers of people that you need to put in a traditional prison setting down low enough, you put your money into things like work release centers and day reporting centers, et cetera, and then you just can contract out. There's counties that have the empty beds that are within the vicinity. For people who are already sentenced, they could be sent further away. Franklin and York counties have empty beds because they overbuilt we don't want to make that same mistake. They're looking for people to rent it from for $60 a day. We don't want to make that same mistake. So
Okay.
again, I'm just saying, all options should be on the table and thought through.
All option the table, Mr. Shuck, to correct your number, okay, $60 a day, 200 prison the average, and that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be $4.3 million, plus we're gonna have another $1,400,000 for extra employee we're gonna have on board. It's gonna be $6,700,000 a year. We cannot sit and picking and picking. We must all get together and do what's right and move forward.
And again, all I would say is that the person who's at the highest level of the
Yep.
corrections department in the state has advised us to make sure that we do this right, and he also indicated in that first meeting that a realistic time frame to even be looking at plans for a new prison would be this time next year, after a feasibility study, after doing those things, before you even are to the point where you're looking at plans for a prison at a particular site. So I'm just sharing that information.
Anything else in public input? Oh, I'm sorry, miss, I'm sorry. I apologize, please.
Fine. My name's Carol Mazzio. I'm a resident of Sunbury, specifically the Cape Town area. And
You
we've
said
heard
Mrs.
people,
Mazzio?
we've heard people say that, the residents of Sunbury are opposed to keeping the prison here. And I'm speaking for my little crime watch in our section of the city. We are not opposed to it. We were very much in favor of keeping it here for many reasons: logistics, economics, transportation, and as well as keeping jobs here in Sunbury.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else public input? Hear none, motion to adjourn. So moved.